Hey, welcome to Flashback Monday, the extended version. We had a very small January and a very small December, a very small January, slightly middle of the road February, maybe a little bigger. March, however, has exploded. And I am missing my Romantic Times Book Review magazine, something terrible. And if anybody has any suggestions for future Flashback Mondays, I'd appreciate it. We are catching up to the present, so I'm trying to figure out what to do. So please leave them in the comments and please hit the like and subscribe. I could use the subscribers. One day, maybe I'll hit 1,000. I would love to hit 1,000 subscribers. I'm to the point where say anything you want because no one's watching. And hey, if you want to know what I look like 5 minutes out of bed, this is what I look like 5 minutes out of bed. It's like, oh shoot, I gotta do a video today. It's Flashback Monday. So, and this is the D. Louise book series where we read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy stuff going on here. So, I have no idea. I was Anastasia Ariel Lohan, Russia, July 17, 1918. Under direct orders from Vladimir, secret police force Anastasia Romano, along with the entire imperial family, is in a damp basement in Siberia where they face a merciless firing squad. None survive, at least that's what the executioners have always claimed. Germany, February 17, 1920. A young woman bearing an uncanny resemblance to Anastasia is pulled shivering and senseless from a canal in Berlin. Refusing to explain her presence in the freezing water, she's taken to the hospital where an examination reveals that her body is riddled with countless horrific scars. When she finally does speak, this frightened, mysterious woman claims to be the Russian Grand Duchess Anastasia. This is still ongoing today. This stuff with her. That's been a thing of documentaries for a long time. So, anyways, the Terminalist, Jack Carr. Oh, and I forgot. This is March 2018. On his last combat deployment as a Navy SEAL, Lieutenant Commander James Reese's entire team was killed in a catastrophic ambush that also claimed the lives of the aircrew sent in to rescue them. But when those dearest to him are murdered on the day of his homecoming, Reese discovers that this was not an active war by a foreign enemy, but a conspiracy that runs to the highest levels of his own government. They have been taken everything from him, now it's his turn. With nothing left to lose, Reese applies lessons learned in more than a decade of constant warfare toward avenging the death of his family and teammates. Have you been a fan of this TV show? I used to watch this TV show every single morning because I loved Regis. And I love the big reveal. Oh, wait a minute, that was Kelly's reveal. That was not Kathy Lee's reveal. Kathy Lee Gifford, The Rock, The Road, and the Rabbi. Somebody put a flag. I have to see what this is. Kathy Lee Gifford has always believed the answer to every question any person will ever ask can be found in the Word of God. The trouble comes in understanding and interpreting the scriptures when our society is so separated from the ancient Jewish culture in which they were written. In this book, you will have the exciting opportunity to discover the truth of the Bible and learn what many passages in scripture really mean. Well, they always say, some people say anyway, that God always answers your question, but not always in the way you want. And the flag. Page 69. We must forgive because we have been forgiven by the Lord. Extending forgiveness should not be dependent on receiving an apology, as Paul wrote. Bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has a grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. What are these pictures? She went to Europe, I guess. Nice pictures. Hey! Did you catch that freight train? Ah. Smoky. Candace Fox. Crimson Lake. Accused but not convicted of a brutal abduction, Sydney Detective Ted Confrey is now a free man and public enemy number one. Maintaining his innocence, he flees north to keep a low profile amid the steamy, croc-infested wetlands of Crimson Lake. There, Ted's lawyer introduces him to eccentric private investigator Amanda Farrell, herself a convicted murderer, not entirely convinced Amanda is a cold-blooded killer. Ted agrees to help her with her investigation, a case full of deception and obsession, while secretly digging into her past. See what happens there. The River House. Felicity McGregor loves organizing social events for others, but her own personal life is a different story. After a brief but failed attempt at career as a financial analyst, she returned to Knightsbridge, where she enjoys running a thriving party business. Then Felicity's life gets a shake-up when her childhood friend Gabriel Flanagan runs unexpectedly to their tiny hometown. Now a high-flying business, Gabe always vowed to get out of Knightsbridge, but he is back for the local entrepreneurial boot camp Felicity's been hired to organize. Together again, they'll finally have to face each other and their complicated past. Yeah. Screw me for putting these in a box. I gotta do this series. I've gotta read it. We gotta do this one day. To Die But Once. 1940, during the months following Britain's declaration of war on Germany, as far as the population is concerned, nothing much seems to have happened, despite the sandbagging of underground stations and public buildings, constant government reminders to carry gas masks at all times, and the barrage balloons bobbing overhead. The newspapers are calling it the Boer War, and mothers have started bringing children who were evacuated to the country back home. Against this backdrop of uncertainty, Maisie Dowds investigates the disappearance of a young apprentice working on a hush-hush government contract. As news of the plight of thousands of soldiers stranded on the beaches of France is gradually revealed to the general public. What happened? Stop. Listen. And as the threat of invasion increases, another young man, beloved by Maisie, makes a terrible decision that would change his life forever. Maisie's investigation leads her from the countryside of rural Hampshire to the web of wartime opportunism, exploited by one of London's underworld most powerful men, in a case that serves as a reminder of the inextricable link between money and war. Hey! Have you seen my JP Beaumont videos? We did all of them. I'll try and do a thing. JP Beaumont D. Louise book series. Gotta go in there and do that. J.A. Jance Duel of the Death. She's got the Reynolds series is a little on the suspenseful side, and then she's got the Walker side. which is I think she's in Arizona, the sheriff in Arizona. And then, of course, my J.P. Beaumont, who is the Seattle detective that evolves. So anyway, after taking down the man responsible for his best friend's death, Stuart Ramey thinks the case is finally closed. That is, until Stu finds himself left with a multi-million-dollar fortune in bitcoins in a desperate bid by Frigg, a rogue AI program created by the killer to keep itself from being fully deactivated. To sort out the situation and take Frigg down for good, Stu enlists the help of Allie Reynolds and the rest of the cybersecurity colleagues at High Noon Enterprises, but they are not the only ones who know about Frigg's existence. Graciela, an unassuming accountant by all appearances, actually the right-hand woman of El Paso, the leader of a dangerous drug cartel. She'll do anything to get her hands on that AI. With Frigg's help, Graciela helps to take down El Paso's criminal underworld and become wealthy beyond their wildest dreams. Don't know. I've got to do. I don't know why I just didn't take these out to begin with. But anyway, you know, this happened a couple days ago. This happened, I think, last week's thing, or it was one of the other videos. It was an if then video of Flashback Money, but I think it was if then. This guy writes the puppy dog stories. He writes the puppy dog stories. He writes the cute, cozy, mishy puppy dog stories. So what the hell is he doing writing these horror thrillers? David Rosenfelt, Fade to Black. After getting shot in the line of duty, New Jersey State Police Officer Doug Brock has been busy rebuilding his life. He's united with his fiancée and has started to get some of his memories back. He hopes that the damage from his past isn't permanent and that he can continue to recover with the help of an amnesia support group. It isn't until fellow group member Sean Connor approaches him after meeting that Doug realizes the trouble is just beginning. Sean has discovered in his attic that what can only be called the scrapbook of a murder victim, but he has no recollection of the girl's identity or why he might have gathered this information. Doug agrees to help and convinces his captain to reopen what had been a cold case, but he discovers that he had a personal connection to the case, and suddenly Doug's questioning everything he thought he knew about the investigation and Sean and about his own past. Why is this guy writing thrillers? He's the puppy dog guy. This lady's been around a while. Miss Bishop, Lake Silence. Human laws do not apply to the territory controlled by the others. You know who has the other series? Kelly Armstrong. After her divorce, Vicky Devane took over a rustic resort lake near Lake Silence in a human town that is not human-controlled. Towns such as Vicky's don't have any distance from the others, the dominant predators who rule most of the land and all of the water throughout the world, and when a place has no boundaries, you never really know what is out there watching you. Vicky was hoping to find a new career and a new life, but when her lodger Annie Crow, one of the shape-shifting others, discovers a murdered man, Vicky finds trouble instead. Children of Blood and Bone. Zelly remembers when the soil of Arasha hummed with magic. Burners ignited flames, Tiders became waves, and Zelly's mother summoned forth souls. But everything changed once magic disappeared. Under the orders of a ruthless king, the mage were targeted and killed, leaving Zelly without a mother and her people without hope. Now Zelly has one chance to bring back magic and strike against the monarchy. With the help of a rogue princess, Zelly must outwit and outrun the crown prince who is hell-bent on eradicating magic for good. Think there's a love story in there or what? Now, we've done her tourist thing, tourist trap mysteries, and I got frustrated. I think I read 3 or 4 books, and it had nothing to do with tourists. But I thought this was cute. Who moved my goat cheese? With 3 weeks until opening night for the restaurant, the county seat, Angie and her best friend and business partner Felicia are scrambling to line up local vendors, from the farmer's market to the goat dairy farm of Old Man Moss. Unfortunately, the cantankerous Moss takes a shine to Angie, as does his kid goat Precious. So when Angie hears the blood-curdling news of foul play at the dairy farm, she jumps to mind the man's livestock and help solve the murder. One thing's for sure, there's no way Angie's going to let some killer get her goat. And way was a pun. It was WHEY. Alright. CJ Box, the disappearance. And I really want to do this series for the channel, but I can't get past the fact that he's a game warden. It just, I don't want to see animals killed in any way, shape, or form. Wyoming's new governor isn't sure what to make of Joe Pickett, but he has a job for him that's extremely delicate. A prominent British businesswoman never came home from the high-end guest ranch she was visiting, and the British embassy is pressing hard. Pickett knows that happens sometimes. These ranches are stocked with handsome young boys, and ranch romances aren't uncommon, but no sign of her months after she vanished. That suggests something else. He's got to go investigate. Uh, Fern Michaels, Sweet Vengeance. Tessa Jameson couldn't have imagined anything worse than losing her beloved twin girls and husband until she was convicted of their murder. For 10 years, she has counted off the days in Florida's Correctional Center for women fully expecting to die behind bars. Fighting to prove her innocence holds little appeal now that her family is gone. But on one extraordinary day, her lawyers announced that Tessa's conviction is overturned due to a technicality, and she's released on bail to wait a new trial. Hounded by the press, Tessa retreats to the small tropical island owned by her late husband's pharmaceutical company. There she begins to gather knowledge about her case. For the first time since her nightmare, Tess feels a sense of purpose in working to finally expose the truth and avenge her family. I don't know if I'd want to live after that. Plum Tea Crazy. That is so pretty. That is so pretty. While viewing the harbor, gaslight, and galleons parade from the window's walk of Timothy Neville's Charleston mansion, local banker Carlson Lanier seemingly stumbles over a railing, then plunges 3 stories to his death. But a tragic accident becomes something much more sinister when it's discovered that the victim was first shot with an arrow from a crossbow. At the request of the mansion owner, Theodosia Browning investigates the tragedy, and it's soon neck deep in suspects. And an almost ex-wife, a co-worker, and a real estate partner all had motives for killing the banker. That is so pretty. My gal pal, Miss Foster's back there. She went all boxing. Now she's going naked guy on the cover, Selena. Selena, thank you so much for watching the whole video. I think you're the only one that does. But if someone else is here, I thank you too. The moment Bran Sherry meets beautiful driven Shihara, the connection between them is electric. What's that? It's electrifying. It's also something he can't pursue. Sahara wants him sure to join body armor where his MMA skills, size, and cocky attitude make him perfect for her elite crew of bodyguards. For Sahara, the agency always comes first, and Brad needs more. Yet when she's kidnapped by men searching for her missing brother, he doesn't hesitate to come to her rescue. Alright, wait a second. Has a t-shirt on. Could have taken it off, Lindsay. Kidding, sorry. Lone Rider. As a combat photographer in Afghanistan, Tara Dalton saw things she won't ever forget, as much as she would like to. After returning stateside, she can't fight her way past the PTSD that's haunted her ever since. Desperate to make a change, she joins her old friend Shay at the Bar C Ranch, where a group of ex-military vets are putting their lives back together, one step at a time, including one strong, gentle bear of a man who makes her feel safer than she has in years. Harper Sutton. Brad Meltzer. Her body was found on a plane that mysteriously fell from sky as it left a secret military base in Alaska wilderness. Her commanding officer verifies she's dead. The U.S. government confirms it, but Jim's has just found out the truth. She's still alive and on the run. What is she on the run from? Miss Burroughs, a rogue of her own. Miss Charlotte Wyndham, the best way to maintain her spinsterhood and her independence is a teeny tiny brush for scandal. She chooses wealthy, handsome, upstart Lucas Shelburne as her unwitting accomplice. He's intelligent, local, and ambitious. What Charlotte doesn't count on is that one kiss that leads them straight to the altar. Was it a hot, steamy kiss? Miss Briggs, if you haven't watched all my Mercy Thompson videos, go watch all my Mercy Thompson videos. Somebody's back. They're wild and broken. They were wolves too damaged to live safely among their own kind. For their own good, they have been exiled to the outskirts of Aspen Creek, Montana, close enough to the Morex pack to have support, far enough away not to cause any harm. With their alpha out of the country, Charles and Anna are on call when an SOS comes in from Fay, mate of one such wilding. Heading into the mountain wilderness, they interrupt the abduction of the wolf but can't stop blood from being shed. Now Charles and Anna must use their skills, his as enforcer, hers as a peacemaker, to track down the attackers. Reopening painful chapter in the past. Yes, ma'am. Come here. Come here. You've been walking all over my computer. It's pay attention to me, Mom. Don't do a video, Mom. Pay attention to me, Mom. If you haven't seen my Christine FEEHAN video, please go watch. Covert Games. Rescuing an industrial spy from the hands of criminal mastermind is suicide mission for ghost workers. There's no one more up to the task than Gino. He is the perfect killing machine, a man driven by demons so dark and destructive that his belighted soul has given up trying to find solace. But his laser-sharp focus on his target has transformed into something nearing desire. The treacherous senator dangled top-secret ghost worker data in front of Chinese crime lord, and he bit. Zara Hightower, one of the world's most leading experts on artificial intelligence, was sent in to physically wipe the crime lord's computer network. She succeeded, but a huge cost. Now she's the captive of a man who descended into paranoid madness. Which I have one last book. One last one. Miss Moaning. The Fae. Danny O'Malley was 9 years old when the delusional, sadistic Rowena transformed her into a ruthless killer. Years later, Danny is tough and hardened, yet achingly vulnerable and fiercely compassionate, living alone by her own exacting code. Despite the scars on her body and driven by deeper ones carved into her soul, no one is more committed to protecting Dublin. By the day, she ensures the safety of those she rescues. By night, she hunts evil, dispensing justice swiftly and without mercy. She's determined to give those who cares for peace she has ever known. But when the fairy queen used dangerous, powerful song of making to heal the world from the damage done by the hoar frost king, catastrophic magic seeped into the earth, giving rise to horrifying unseen consequences. And that is the end of Flashback Monday. Please tune in to If Then Friday. Also, Star Trek Next Generation recap and or Star Trek Voyager recap Friday. And JD Rob, Eve Dallas character spoilerizations on Saturday. In-depth D. Louise book series. The reviews will come up. The first time I did them, I did plot reviews, situation. Now we're doing character spoilerizations. Don't forget unboxing on Sundays. Of course, Flashback Mondays. If anybody has any ideas for future ones, please let me know. And of course, my daily book reviews. And if you at every night at 7:45 on the D. Louise Book Series channel, we're talking about Diana Gabaldon's either Echo and the Bone, depending where you end up, Written in My Own Heartstone, or The Bees. Have a good one.